Well, John McLaughlin was doing John McLaughlin long before anyone else.
Okay.
Michael, Wyoming.
Mike Myers has got that Shrek the Fourth coming out in 3D.
Yeah,
Previews for...
I'm sure he makes a lot of money doing that, but I can't consider that a Mike Myers movie.
I think in this one, he's an ugly ogre, and maybe he marries someone just for what's inside.
I find him to be gruff but lovable.
Well, it's what's inside that counts.
I'm going to do a cartoon where the person's gruff but hateable. Like the gruff person is really bad.
You can call that the Tommy Z story.
And I would...
Does he talk to a donkey?
He wouldn't be doing... Tommy Z's not doing Shrek, he's doing Drek. Hold on, I got to pick it up and then you cut it off. Or he talks to a donkey.
Well, either way, it's a talking ass.
Oh! Tommy Z takes a shot.
Oh.
It is the Ron and Fez show, 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. Our own Earl Douglas, as he puts it, in the hizzle. How's everything coming along with the book today, Earl?
Things are going well, and hopefully either today or tomorrow we'll finalize all the details about the launch party.
Lunch party?
Launch. I keep saying lunch. Launch party. So that's really, I still can't believe it's happening, but it is. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And this, it's just flying off the shelves. And by the shelves, I mean the internet. People are loving this. I saw a lot of nice write-ups on it.
It's doing pretty well. Blurb.com is where you can go find it and got the staff pick. And you can go to the staff pick section there. And
we all signed your book with you. But the way you signed it, I really loved. Support the arts. Where you now consider your book as part of the arts?
No, but I really love the musicians in this book, and but they don't. In my opinion, they don't get the support that they deserve. And there's
that's mainly because they're black, and that's something I was working on today. Isn't it funny? Even after all these years, I mean, like when you hear Eric Burden come in, and he's saying like some of those black artists weren't like recognized in their own country, and your book is basically about the same thing. Isn't that weird when you think about it?
Yeah, people are still living like this expatriate lifestyle where you have to go to. Like I know dudes that are living in Germany, they're living in Paris, they're living everywhere but here because there's a mechanism in place where the arts programs are supported and musicians are supported there.
Brad in D.C. has a moral conundrum for us.
Oh no. It's a moral conundrum.
Brad, go ahead, buddy. You're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, Ronnie. Sound like $1 million, babe. Last night, I'm with my wife. We're in bed, having sex. I got her toes pointed to the ceiling. All of a sudden, my little girl walks in. She's 9 years old. Do I have a talk with her today about it, or just pretend like nothing ever happened? I don't know if what she saw or whatever.
First of all, Brad, get a lock for the door.
Yeah, I know.
Davey Mack, lock on the door?
Lock on the door. And hide as much shit from your kids as possible.
And what if they see something horrible? Act like it never happened?
That's my plan.
Work for my parents. My parents used to always act like, no, huh? Whatever. Don't bring it up. And here's my opinion about this too, Brad. This seems like it's mother's work. Let the women and the little girls, since they have that whole complicated thing, the reproductive area, the menstrual thing, all that stuff is outside the perimeter of a father's work.
I will never talk to my kids about sex.
You should come home and say, I'm your dad. I bring home a check, and then you won't see me again for some time. I got into this conversation with some people the other day, and it was because there was, in movies, if the dad doesn't make the kids play, he's a bad person. If the dad is paying more attention to work than the kids' little league, the dad is a bad person. We basically want a society where you have two mothers. What they want, really, is two stay-at-home moms. But it used to be an extremely important thing that here this man was, who leaves, comes back with food, sleeps, leaves again, comes back with more food, and he would be the physical protection for the family. He would be the provider for the family. And at one time, that was considered a very important thing, maybe the most important thing. And now we've gotten away from that, where you find out, well, my dad didn't see me in the play. My dad didn't teach me to roller skate. Therefore, this person who sacrificed for our family is awful. And the person who, was able to do the nurturing things was the good one. Why aren't they both good? Why is it such an awful thing that a guy dedicates himself to the family? How much was your dad home, Earl?
Not a lot. I mean, he was there enough. I mean, he's basically there to eat and go to sleep.
The man was tired, right?
Yes. Because,
the man was absolutely exhausted because he worked all day.
I mean, he came home, he ate, we watch a game, he goes to sleep. It wasn't really much.
It wasn't that pressurized thing, whereas somehow today he's expected to go home and teach his kids fucking Kumon or whatever these crazy things that they're doing. Everyone goes out together then and, drives go-karts or some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck it is. But at some point, we want the dad to be more nurturing, and the dad who isn't is somehow the bad dad.
It's like we need quality time with our kids. They used to call it
well,
quality.
Yeah, what is the quality time?
I mean, quality time is so subjective, though.
Right.
It could be, for me, quality time was, when I was growing up, my father taught me how to field a ground ball. That was it. That was all I wanted to. That was my universe with my father. Whereas it wasn't like we didn't talk about, when my brother and I were teenagers, we didn't talk about women.
No, never. Never did I discuss that with my dad.
I mean, but it didn't mean like he didn't care, or he didn't care much about, because he still brought home a check. He still provided for us. And whatever we needed, we got.
I think it's when they gave in just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's when, right after the Archie Bunker thing, where the guy said, all right, I'm not going to try to be a stranger. And then again, they had to keep taking more and more from the guy. Quite frankly, there is something about a guy who leaves, comes back with the check, and says, make sure you get food for these fucking kids, too. Even though these kids didn't do anything, make sure that they get some of the food. It seems like it's an incredibly, not only responsible move, it's pretty fucking cool to say. And I guess they need pants, socks, and shit like that, and get them some kind of bed up there in that fucking bed upstairs. I'm going to take one of the rooms upstairs, put a bed up there, and let them crash there. You would think people would appreciate it.
It's fair.
A little more.
It's fair, too. I mean, he's not doing out fucking around. He's not having fun with his friends.
It seems like he could be doing other stuff. Now, when you brought that quality time, my dad's quality time thing was, if you're up in the morning on my vacation, hop in the boat, and we'll all be in there together. Sometimes I got up, sometimes I didn't. But it never occurred to me, like, when we went on our vacations, it was somewhere for my dad to fish, right? And then we fished, too. But it wasn't exactly like it was all of our hobbies, or we sat down and went, how do we do this? Where are you thinking? He's like, this is great. We're going to be camping. Hey, listen, you guys ought to be up in the morning, when the boat leaves. Try to be in it. It's going to be fucking great.
No, my mother used to get on my father all the time. She's like, why don't you spend more time with your sons now? Well, I told the story where the first time he took us to one of the few times he took us to the movies, the first time we went to a drive-in, so you think we'd see like a kid's movie or Star Wars.
Right.
No, we saw Race with the Devil with Peter Fonda. It was a double feature. It was Jaws and Race with the Devil with Peter Fonda. And then another time it was Break Hard Pass with Charles Bronson. And we saw his movies.
That would be always funny, too. And my old man, too, was like, he would actually call you for this. Because he never was like, hey, we should have watched the show, but you would hear him yell, "The Duke!" And you come in and there's a John Wayne movie. My father actually thought John Wayne was a fabulous actor. He had the fucking full range my pop was looking for.
Our quality time with father was usually fairly rushed whenever he had time to do it. Like, if he did take me out back and try to teach me how to play catch, it was very quick, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and we were done.
Dude, I'm telling you now, I couldn't have a catch with you for 10 minutes. If that guy stayed with pan hands for 10 minutes, he was embarrassed for 9 minutes and 45 seconds. When you hit a ball to Fez, he turns his wrist upside down, even on a line drive.
You could break your own.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
I've never saw it happen before.
Never just let it.
The ball could skip and hit you in the nose. My dad would come home at 6, and he would have to be on the couch for 1 hour, and he was permitted not to do anything. Like, he was like an off-duty cop.
Right.
You literally could burn down the house. If it was 6:30, my dad wouldn't budge. He'd be like, I get 1 hour of couch time.
I get 1 hour of, what was he doing, reading the paper?
No, putting the feet up, watching sports or news.
Oh. Chris, you're Ron and Fez.
You know what's odd? I don't think anyone really has these feelings that their father wasn't around or missed the games or, like, missed their play. I've never heard anyone actually say this in a real-life setting. What I do remember, it was always like a theme on 70s sitcoms.
Well, no, you know what? Yeah. And that's how, but this is kind of shrink talk. You know what I mean? Because there is no reason for any kid to think everyone should see all of his games or his plays. It's crazy that this even came up as being a big thing. I mean, I never said, hey, I'm playing with some guys down the fucking street. Make sure you're there. I'd have been embarrassed if my dad would have walked down the street and been there for us. Sometimes my dad would come up in the backyard and been steady pitcher for us. And it was really the first time you got to learn to hit a curve, or more frankly, whiff at a curve. It was always your old man who was fucking hitting you with some of those pitches.
Now, my father was hip enough to know that when we would play Little League, he knew that parents watching the games was kind of the not cool thing to do. You know, like your father watched. He would sit in the car and watch the game.
Come down the street.
Just sit back. And then we get in the car. He's like, you really stepped into that pitch, didn't you? Like, then
but he wasn't down there like
yelling at the ump. He wasn't, yelling at you or any of that.
Watching from a distance. Here's Scott in Tampa. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron. Hey, I wanted to ask you, at your house, when you guys sit down for dinner, does your old man always get first choice on food before anybody else?
I'm trying to think if my old man got served first.
Mine did. Always.
I mean, you're going to give the guy the biggest piece of fucking meat, ain't you?
Not mine, though. My Beanie was all about the kids. And she would, Pat, you wait. And I could just see my dad slump over.
I'm sure he spent a big part of his life slumped over.
I think I'm sorry. I thought I think the baby went first in our family. And my mother, cut up all his stuff, and then eventually she went last.
She went last?
Yeah, because she was so busy, getting the baby's food ready.
And everybody had to wait until the baby got to eat?
No, we were serving ourselves, but we had to wait till she was done so that she could sit down with her food.
Polish Rich, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
How's it going, guys? I just, growing up, I remember my dad was never home. But now I remember the times that he actually did make it home, and we actually did something together.
Huge.
When today it's like, I didn't fucking make it for the ballet recital. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Remember when I did make it? I'm out there trying to make a living for the family.
But, it kind of makes, I did that joke about my dad's fishing trips, right? But if I look back on my childhood, because let's face something, things are only about moments. Your memory is just moments. Most of the time, I don't even remember my dad in the United States. I'm thinking about him on fishing trips in Canada. You know what I mean? Like, those moments are some of the most important things. Like, somehow, because it didn't happen every moment, it seemed like it was more exciting. Like it was always exciting for that little time that he would cut loose.
For us, it was car rides. It was like, you want to go? Yeah, let's go for. It was just like we just go for.
Your dad lived in that car.
He loved that car more than
Seriously.
he loved me.
He was like Christine.
He adored that car.
Was it a Cadillac?
If I ever make like $1 million, I'm going to buy. He always wanted a Cadillac. He never got. I think the closest he had was a Lincoln Town Car.
Is that what he was?
Yeah, town car guy mainly, but he everybody of his generation wanted a Cadillac.
Nick, Philly, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. I was just wondering, as a new dad, I've been having this conversation with my wife. How many fathers had their own chair and their own spot at the dinner table and nobody else was allowed to sit in?
And the table. And the table. And, for some reason that becomes, I'm sorry, again, the guy's out working. He's fucking bringing it home. You're dividing up. He can't have the end of the table. He can't have a fucking easy chair. Let's face something. The guy could be living in the house by himself if he wasn't fucking nice enough.
When my dad would come home, we would scatter like little bugs, when you clean out your fridge and there's beetles under it and they just go all over the place.
Because you don't want any part of what he was going to find out?
No. I knew I was probably up to no good, so yeah, I want my dad. I stay far away from him.
When your dad gave you, what did you say, my wife? I'll never forget the first time when my old man was mad at me and called my mom his wife. Don't ever talk to my wife. Like, I'm a fucking stranger. Like, I'm a stranger that he just bumped into on the fucking street. Because you know how, like, when you're a kid, you start talking to your mom like she's your chick. Like, you're fucking, let down with some of the things that she's done. You never have anything ready for me.
Peanut butter jelly again? Mom,
what is wrong with you?
Christ.
Why can't you have a couple things ready here? Your old man just says, who the fuck are you talking to like that? You're like, what? I thought she was all of our chicks. Here's Gia. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
What can we do for you?
My old man, it's funny that you said that. He would do anything for my mom, but he would not go south of Pennsylvania. We wanted to go to Disney World the worst fucking way, and he would not possibly go there. So every year we would have to go to the Amish country, which of course he referred to as the Amish country, because my mother liked to go antiquing. And he liked to go to those fucking Good and Plenty places where you sat around the table and just ate really heavy food.
Yeah, I know those places.
And every fucking year it was, oh, look at the people, look at the Amish.
Well, let me tell you, I've been to Disney World with my kids. It's no place for a man. I'd rather put a fucking gun on them. It's hot. There's lines. That is not for a man. That's for children.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times can you look at houses and go, oh, look, they don't have...
But here's the thing, Gia. It was his fucking vacation, not yours. Your vacation is the whole summer. That's the fucking thing. And for some reason, I don't know how we got into this thing about it being a democracy. He's at the end of the table. He's getting the big fucking steak. He gets 2 fucking weeks off a year. One is fucking up Christmas, putting your bikes together. No man wants to take off Christmas week. It's a fucking nightmare. I get it off now, and I got nowhere to go.
They think we're like Bob Vila. Like, I'm going to know how to fucking put together a dollhouse and then a bed frame.
How is that a fucking vacation for anybody?
I hate it.
So it's bullshit. So the fact that your old man wanted to go to Amish country so he could get those piles of fucking chicken lined up while your fucking mom was picking out some hideous old fucking sled for herself. Good for him. Why should he be down at It's a Small World? That's a nightmare for a full-grown man.
Was your dad different when he was like around his brother? Because I remember the first time I remember that, like, being cognizant, my dad being around my uncle, and my dad was like, yeah, the Yankees are so shitty right now. And he had never said that in front of us. And around his brother, he was like a dude. I remember saying, like, my dad's a dude.
My dad never had any problem telling us that the Yankees were fucking shitty. Herman, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Mr. B. It's pretty twisted. Like, I have to stay home with the kids because the schedule just works out that way. And it's just unnatural and twisted. And you're the only person.
Herman, I would find it to be the hardest thing ever. And I'm saying that seriously. I don't know how to do the thing. Let's say that Dave's wife is doing now. Taking care of 2 kids, blah, blah, blah. That would all be so over my head. That I'd be one of those floating in the fucking pool. Fucking standing
man. It's totally sick. I've got one on my hip right now, and there's another one that's painting my face.
And you know you're not fucking. You know you're not doing good enough.
No, I'm not. I don't have the appropriate appendages.
Yeah, it's impossible. Here's Phil, Tampa. You're on Fez. Phil. Here's Bill, New Jersey.
A big ass 29.7 Papa Butter.
What can we do for you, pal?
Yeah, Fezzy, what was your biggest favorite memory you had of your father growing up? Was it the time that he used to take you out back and hose your the Sandaddy race?
All right, least favorite. You got him mixed up. That was least favorite.
What would you have rather him done? Get in your asshole with a Q-tip? What was the man supposed to do? He comes back with fatty pneumonia. Fatty fucking doesn't swim in the ocean himself. He sits at the end, lets the sand go up. Now, he don't want a fucking bed full of fucking ass sand. What was he supposed to do with you? He treated you like a fucking piece of livestock. He took you out in the fucking shame pen and squirted you in the asshole with a hose.
It could have been a more private setting.
Like what?
Where my cousins weren't around watching.
Maybe he would have felt like he needed some people there to fucking back him up in case you claim rape.
I was not going to scream rape. I was a child.
Seriously, I went to the fucking beach every day. The fucking sand didn't have to be hosed out of my ass because I was fucking swimming. I wasn't just sitting packing the fucking beach up my asshole.
It's incomprehensible.
Yeah.
You jump in the ocean and then you leave.
And Fez also doesn't fucking tell this whole story. The entire family had to come back early because he had to use the restroom and wouldn't go in the ocean for it.
There was no way I was going to do that. I was not going to.
What were you supposed to do? What did you have to do?
I had to number 2.
I had to number 2, he says, like he's a baby now.
I had to shat in the ocean and I was not going to do it.
Who would have known? To this day, who would have known?
I do it all the time. I'll do it in my bathtub. I don't give a fuck.
That's not an ocean.
Yeah. Sue in New Jersey, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Listen, it's totally opposite at my house. My mom's the one with the iron fist. I don't know if it's because I'm the baby, but I was the fourth kid and maybe she was just tired of it. My father used to get me up in the morning and bring her coffee and her cigarette in bed. My dad would make my lunch, he'd make my breakfast and send me off to school, and my mom wasn't even out of bed yet.
Honey, you grew up in Valley of the Dolls. All right? There was some kind of deep problems going on there you don't even know about.
My mom was a tough chick, though, and,
Right, she was Tallulah Bankhead, where she couldn't get herself out of bed in the morning. You had to bring her. You had to bring her stuff.
He still does. He still does all the laundry. I married a guy just like that, though, so what can I say? It was a pretty sweet life.
All right, sweetie.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, sweet life.
Her mother was Neely O'Hara.
Exactly. Just the fucking blinds have to stay pulled like she was Elvis. But again, it doesn't mean that, the guy should be an asshole. But when a guy's out working, it doesn't necessarily make him an asshole. Stop acting like that family life is somehow more important than work life. It just annoys me.
There's a place for family life, too. I mean, there's Thanksgivings and Christmases and Easters, July 4th. There's 4 right there.
There's occasions.
So you got it. So stop it.
Or weekends? Or Sunday?
No.
Sunday dinner?
Weekends were for the weed whacking and leaf blowing.
I know a lot of times we just got taken to work with him. And we'd have to either, sit in a booth, while he was working in the restaurant.
Never saw where my dad worked.
I went into my dad's place a couple times. To this day, I still can't tell you what he did for a living. I know there was large machines. It was loud. Things were spinning. He had something to do with whatever this process was, but I didn't get it down. Here is Bill in Mississippi. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
My dad hated us kids so bad that his routine was he'd come home every night from work with a 12-pack of Schlitz. He'd go in the garage, and the only time you saw him was when he'd come back in to get another beer out of the fridge. He'd eat dinner at 10:30 at night before he went to bed. And when I graduated, he wasn't going to my graduation, and he called me back in the garage, and I thought he was going to tell me he was proud of me or something. He said, stop by Kmart on the way back and get you a bag. He wanted us out.
He wanted you out of the place?
Oh, yeah, he told me to pick up a bag on the way back from my graduation. He didn't go to my graduation.
Hey, Bill, save this fucking story for chicks, would you? Cry on their shoulder with this shit.
My
you
dad
don't bring up the fact that he gave you 18 years. 18 years and he didn't like you. Did not even like you, but still paid off fucking 18 years for you. Not a bad deal.
My dad gave me a bag, but I was 29. So the scenario
And
was
even
different.
then, that fucking bag was only half filled.
I was still crying.
You still keep a lot of stuff at that house.
Still going to cover the phone bill, though, right, Daddy?
Remember, I want to go to the Twitter Awards.
Help me, Daddy.
You know, the fucking weirdest thing is, for some reason, everybody acts like this guy didn't do enough. All this shit he gave you, it ain't enough. And, you know, this guy's talking about his fucking rough childhood. And, yeah, that's not the best story you've ever heard. Is it better than a Cambodian's fucking story? Yeah. Some kid grew up in Kenya with fucking bugs on him? Yeah. You're still looking like you've had a better childhood than 90% of the fucking people in other countries.
The guy's
You're still the luck of the draw.
And he made a mistake by not trying to be his dad's buddy with the Schlitz. He could have saw an avenue there and have some
I'm telling you right
fun
now,
time.
You're going to have all that Schlitz in the house. It's going to fucking end up in some of it in my room.
That's right. I took Schlitz, hid it under the pool table as a child. I remember Schlitz very well.
Sure.
Remember
Schlitz
the taste
shits.
of it.
Everybody always remembers the day after. You
Great.
have the Schlitz shits.
Great for a beer. Great beer for a 14-year-old.
Went down fast and smooth.
You only needed like 5 of them. You were all like punchy.
You're fucking the same way now. You haven't even changed slightly.
That's true.
Everybody makes a big... Everybody always fucking counts on what they didn't get. No one ever sits around and is fucking happy for what they did. And again, it's crazy shrink talk. I think if you weren't told somehow this was a bad experience, you wouldn't take it that way. If you were told, hey, here's a guy who sacrificed his life so that you could have some fucking food, a place to live, and a fucking guy to bitch about, you'd be like, yeah, that is true. I did have a fucking bed. I did have some fucking pants. No one ever brings that up. They didn't get a hug from their dad. Really? Is that what you want to do? Sit around with this odd man and fucking hug each other? Sounds sick.
We were growing.
Fucking pussies. Again, the weirdest fucking deal about this, and the weirdest ever, is when we got into the inner child stuff. You know? Take care of your inner child. I know, I kind of get, all right, you have to, you know, reward yourself and do some of these little silly things, but I don't think it was ever about letting that fucking inner child run the show, which it appears to now. I'd like to see people worry less about their inner child, more about their fucking outer adult. Just fucking act like you've grown up every once in a while. Everybody fucking wants some kind of fucking reason. Even when they go to work, they still want to be taken care of. They don't want to fucking think for themselves. They still want that responsibility to come out to be somebody else's. That's why people don't fucking care about their jobs anymore.
Also, when you're a child, you don't understand shit. Like, if you want to embrace your inner child, I'd be eating, you know, Twinkies and candy all day. That's not how you're supposed to live.
Here's Andy in Louisiana. You're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, hey guys. I remember when I was 12 or 13 years old, my dad was an airline pilot, so he was gone a lot. But I remember I wanted a skateboard ramp built. Well, the Saturday rolls around after he'd been gone all week, and, you know, now that I'm an adult looking back on it, he was tired and just wanted to relax. Well, I threw a big fit, crying, screaming. My dad doesn't want to do anything with me, and I remember at the time my parents actually laughing at me where I was trying to pull some dramatic moment out of them.
Yeah.
And, you look back at it, now with my own kids, you just don't understand when you're that age exactly
Absolutely.
what your dad's doing.
And that's the full process now. When you are getting to the age and responsibilities that Dave is at, that you look back on